That's why United fans say with such certainty, let the man work. Carrick is simply coordinating structural changes in the team that we haven't seen for years, but the team definitely needed them, very much so. I need you to stay with me until the very end of this video, because we're breaking down a plan that is going to change the face of our midfield forever. Michael Carrick isn't just playing games anymore, he is performing a total sector overhaul. Before we dive into the tactical genius and the massive team news, do me a huge favor. If you're watching this on your phone, hit that subscribe button and drop a like right now to support the Red Devils. If you're watching on your TV, grab that remote, press up, and make sure you're subscribed, because this is the only place for the real United story, without the fluff. While most people are just complaining about the Bournemouth result, I want you to look at what Michael Carrick is actually doing. He's finally ripped up the old script. We all remember the struggle under the previous system. It was rigid, it was slow, and it felt like our best players were trapped in a box. But Carrick, being the midfield maestro he was, has gone back to the DNA of Manchester United. We are talking about the return of the 4-2-3-1, and it is changing everything about how we progress the ball. The biggest winner in all of this? Bruno Fernandes. Our captain is finally playing like a man possessed again. In the old setup, he was dropped so deep he was basically a third centre-back at times, and it killed his creative spark. Now Carrick has given him the keys to the city. Bruno is back in that number 10 role, with the freedom to roam, to find those pockets of space, and to dictate the tempo.
This isn't just a tactical tweak, it's a restoration of our greatest attacking asset. When you see Bruno playing with that smile and that bit of arrogance again, you know we're on the right track. But here is the catch, and this is where the tension starts to build. To give Bruno that freedom, the base of our midfield has to be rock solid. Right now, Carrick is leaning heavily on the duo of Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo. We love Casemiro, the man is a legend and he has given us incredible moments since he arrived, but we have to talk about the reality of 2026. In that Bournemouth game, we saw the gaps, we saw the moments where the recovery pace just wasn't there. Carrick knows this. He knows that to compete at the very top, to take that next step from third place to title contenders, we need more than just legendary names. We need legs, we need energy, and we need a profile of player that can sustain a high-intensity press for 90 minutes. This is why the talk of a sector overhaul is heating up right now. Carrick is looking at this midfield and realizing that while Mainoo is the future, he can't do it all alone. Mainoo is elite, he's a generational talent, but he's being asked to cover so much ground because the balance isn't quite right yet. We are seeing a shift where the club is finally identifying that we need two specific types of players this summer. We need a controller, someone in the mold of Carrick himself, who can pass between the lines with their eyes closed. And we need a physical monster, a destroyer who can protect the back four and allow Mainoo to push forward. This overhaul is already starting to claim its victims. Look at the situation with Manuel Ugarte.
He's a fighter, sure, but he just doesn't fit the fluid, passing-based system Carrick is building. He's become surplus to requirements because he doesn't have that technical security we need in a 4-2-3-1 that rotates into a 3-2-5 when we have the ball. Carrick is being ruthless, and as a fan, you have to love it. He's putting the club's identity above individual names. We're moving away from the chaos and moving toward a structured, dominant midfield that can actually control a game of football. As we look toward the Leeds clash, the big question isn't just about who starts, it's about whether this current group has enough gas in the tank to execute Carrick's vision before the reinforcements arrive. Now, I want you to lean in, because this is where the theory hits the concrete reality of the transfer market. We've talked about the need for a sector overhaul, but what does that actually look like in the boardroom? The name that is echoing around Carrington right now, the one that Michael Carrick supposedly sees as his true spiritual successor on the pitch, is Adam Wharton. Think about it. He is a technical master, a player who understands the geometry of the pitch just like Carrick did. He doesn't just pass the ball, he dictates the heartbeat of the game. Having a player like Wharton alongside Kobe Mainoo wouldn't just be a good signing, it would be the birth of a decade-long dynasty in the heart of Old Trafford. But Carrick knows one stylish passer isn't enough. We need that physical destroyer profile to balance the scales, someone who can eat up the grass and allow our creative sparks to actually catch fire. This brings us to what I call the Kobe Mainoo paradox. We are witnessing the rise of a superstar, no doubt about it.
But because our current midfield balance is so fragile, we are risking burning him out before he even hits his prime. In our recent draw against Bournemouth, you could see the fatigue in the final 20 minutes. Mainoo was everywhere, covering for the aging legs around him, and that is a dangerous game to play. This Leeds clash is going to be the ultimate test of his endurance. Leeds are going to bring chaos, they're going to bring a high-intensity press, and if we don't have the right structure around Kobe, we are playing with fire. Before I give you the final update on the injury list and the defensive shock we might see against Leeds, let's do a quick pulse check. If you're enjoying this tactical breakdown and you want more content that actually respects your intelligence as a fan, make sure you've hit that like button. We do this for the fans, by the fans, and your support is what keeps the United Watch engine running. Now, let's talk about the defense, because the sector overhaul is being forced upon us by circumstances we didn't want. Harry Maguire is officially out for the Leeds game after that red card against Bournemouth. It's a massive blow, because love him or hate him, Harry brings a level of experience that is hard to replace in a derby. But this opens the door for something incredibly exciting. We've seen young Aiden Heaven training with the England senior squad during the break, and there are whispers that Carrick might be bold enough to give the 19-year-old his big moment alongside Lenny Yoro. Can you imagine that? Two of the most exciting young defenders in Europe thrown into the fire of the Leeds rivalry. It's a huge risk, but it's exactly the kind of new era move that Carrick has been hinting at.
Up front, we finally have some positive news, but it's a bit of a nail-biter. Benjamin Šeško and Brian Mbeumo both stayed behind during the international break to work on their fitness. The club has been incredibly careful with Šeško, managing his load to ensure he's 100% for the run-in. He's expected to lead the line, but keep a very close eye on Matheus Cunha. Cunha just won Goal of the Month for that absolute screamer against Villa, and his confidence is through the roof. Whether he starts out wide or plays just behind Šeško, he's the X factor that Leeds won't be able to handle if he's given even an inch of space. I want to hear from you in the comments. If we can only sign one midfielder this summer, are you going for the technical controller like Wharton, or are you demanding a physical monster to protect the defense? Drop your thoughts below, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep the conversation going. This is United Watch, and we'll see you at the final whistle.